Robert Dunfield's efforts to conduct his big dig certainly pushed a lot of spoils piles in the money pit down the hill.
For more than 200 years, Oak Island has guarded a mystery that has fascinated treasure hunters, investors, and explorers alike. Over the centuries, countless people have dedicated their time, money, and lives to uncovering what may be hidden beneath this small island. The search has consumed fortunes, shattered dreams, and claimed 6 lives. Despite more than $50 million being spent on excavations and investigations, the mystery has remained unsolved. But in 2026, something changed. Unlike previous expeditions that relied heavily on theories and speculation, this time the team turned to advanced scientific technology. Using high-resolution seismic imaging, resistivity mapping, and deep drilling techniques reaching depths between 90 and 120 feet, researchers began exploring the island with a level of precision never achieved before. What they discovered surprised even experienced experts. The data consistently pointed to a specific underground location. Measurements revealed metallic density levels that were approximately 60 to 70% higher than the surrounding soil. Some readings were even 4 to 5 times stronger than what would normally be expected. To ensure accuracy, specialists repeated the scans multiple times, but the results remained unchanged. Something unusual appeared to be buried beneath the island. The biggest surprise came when underground camera footage seemed to reveal a hollow chamber nearly 20 feet wide and up to 12 feet deep. If this structure is man-made, experts believe its potential value could approach $195 million. Some researchers suggest that if the chamber is connected to a larger underground system, the total value of whatever lies hidden beneath Oak Island could exceed $500 million. For Rick Lagina, the discovery may represent the breakthrough he has spent decades searching for. After years of dead ends and disappointments, he finally saw evidence that gave him genuine hope that the island's secrets could soon be revealed. Marty Lagina, however, remained cautious. While the findings were impressive, he understood that data alone does not provide proof. Until physical excavation confirms what the instruments are detecting, every possibility remains unverified. He also recognized the risks involved. At such depths, a single mistake could trigger flooding or structural collapse, potentially destroying valuable evidence before it can be recovered. What makes this discovery even more remarkable is the location itself. The area generating these signals had been investigated in previous years and was largely dismissed as unpromising. Many considered it a dead zone with little chance of yielding significant results. Yet now, that same location has become the center of attention. For the first time, the investigation is being guided by strong scientific evidence rather than assumptions. The advanced seismic scans and resistivity surveys were specifically designed to identify underground voids, unusual density patterns, and hidden structures. Instead of producing random anomalies, the instruments repeatedly highlighted the same area, suggesting the presence of something organized and potentially man-made beneath the surface. The consistency of the findings has reignited global interest in Oak Island. Researchers noted that the signals appear concentrated and structured rather than scattered randomly underground. This pattern suggests the possibility of a constructed feature rather than isolated pieces of buried metal. Many of Oak Island's greatest mysteries have always been associated with depths between 90 and 120 feet below the surface. Previous drilling operations reached similar levels, but the results were often inconsistent. Some attempts detected weak metallic traces, while others found nothing at all. Over time, many experts began to question whether anything significant was hidden there. The 2026 investigation tells a different story. Using precision drilling equipment, combined with real-time monitoring systems, the team observed unusual changes as drilling progressed beyond the 90-foot mark. The data became increasingly compelling, reinforcing the possibility that a significant underground feature may exist at those depths. For the first time in generations, researchers believe they may be closer than ever to solving one of history's most enduring treasure mysteries. Whether the anomaly turns out to be a hidden chamber, a forgotten structure, or something entirely unexpected, The evidence uncovered in 2026 has transformed the search. Oak Island may finally be running out of places to hide its secrets. What happens next could provide answers to questions that have remained unanswered for more than 2 centuries. After years of speculation, disappointment, and relentless searching, the world now waits to see whether this latest discovery will become the breakthrough that finally reveals the truth hidden beneath Oak Island. As drilling operations continued deeper underground, researchers began noticing significant changes. Soil density patterns started to shift, while metallic responses increased dramatically. Several samples produced readings far higher than what would normally be expected in the surrounding environment. What made the discovery especially important was that these results weren't isolated incidents. Similar anomalies appeared across multiple boreholes in different locations. For Rick Lagina, that consistency was one of the strongest clues yet. The findings no longer seemed random. A clear pattern was beginning to emerge. However, the deeper the team drilled, the closer they came to one of Oak Island's most notorious challenges, the legendary flood tunnel system. As drilling reached depths between 100 and 110 feet, water pressure increased significantly in several boreholes. Reports suggested that water was entering some locations at rates of hundreds of gallons per minute, indicating a possible connection to an underground water network. The situation quickly became concerning. Marty Lagina warned that if water pressure continued to rise, excavation shafts could flood within minutes, potentially halting operations and destroying valuable evidence. The risks were growing larger with every foot of progress. Yet the team pushed forward. For the first time in years, the evidence seemed to be pointing in a specific direction. Strong metallic readings, repeatable results, and a highly consistent depth range all appeared to support the same conclusion. Then came perhaps the most intriguing theory of all, a hidden chamber. Based on interpretations of the 2026 drilling data and underground scans, researchers believe there may be a hollow space buried beneath the island, measuring approximately 20 feet wide and 10 to 12 feet high. This would not be a small crack or natural pocket in the earth. It would be large enough to resemble an entire underground room concealed beneath Oak Island. To investigate further, the team lowered a borehole camera into the area. The footage captured was brief and far from perfect, but investigators noticed something unusual. Several images appeared to show straight edges and flat surfaces. Instead of looking like naturally fractured rock, the shapes seemed surprisingly smooth and structured, almost as if they were part of a man-made construction. Those observations immediately sparked debate. Some geologists argued that the cavity could be entirely natural. Oak Island's underground geology is incredibly complex, consisting of clay layers, limestone formations, and centuries of water erosion capable of creating unusual underground voids. Others strongly disagreed. Several engineers and longtime researchers pointed out that a cavity of this size, combined with its apparent stability, and the unusually strong metallic readings surrounding it, would be difficult to explain through natural processes alone. As a result, the debate surrounding Oak Island has become more intense than ever. Many researchers now believe that what lies beneath the island may not be a natural formation at all. Instead, it could be a deliberately constructed underground chamber that has remained hidden for centuries. For Rick Lagina, the possibility is incredibly exciting. To him, this isn't simply an empty underground space. It could be the key to solving a mystery that has fascinated people for more than 200 years. Every new piece of evidence brings him closer to the answer he has spent much of his life searching for. Marty Lagina remains more cautious. While he acknowledges the promising data, he insists that no conclusion can be reached until physical excavation provides undeniable proof. In his view, even the most convincing evidence remains a theory until it can be verified firsthand. Still, one fact is becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. If the underground chamber truly exists, it could completely reshape everything we know about Oak Island. Then came the moment that captured everyone's attention. Until this point, the investigation had relied primarily on scans, drilling results, and scientific data. But everything changed when a borehole camera was lowered approximately 100 to 110 feet below the surface. For the first time, the team had an opportunity to actually see what might be hidden underground. Inside the control room, all eyes were fixed on the monitor. Initially, nothing appeared unusual. The camera showed familiar scenes: muddy walls, flowing water, and irregular underground formations. It looked much like previous inspections. Then, unexpectedly, something different appeared. For a brief moment, the camera captured what looked like a smooth surface. Seconds later, a straight edge came into view, followed by another. Unlike natural rock formations, the shapes appeared remarkably flat and organized, almost as if they were part of a constructed structure. Those few seconds instantly changed the atmosphere in the room. Rick stared at the screen and quietly commented that the feature didn't appear natural. His reaction reflected a mixture of excitement, hope, and disbelief. Marty approached the footage differently. His first instinct was to consider alternative explanations. Could lighting conditions be creating an illusion? Could reflections in the water or distortions from the camera be making natural formations appear artificial? After all, Oak Island has produced many misleading clues over the years. Yet when investigators compared the footage with recordings from previous expeditions, an important difference emerged. Similar patterns and straight-edged features had never been documented before. Naturally, opinions remain divided. Some specialists believe poor visibility and reflections can easily make ordinary geological formations appear structured. Others argue that the footage may represent something much more significant. If the surfaces captured by the camera are genuine, they could be part of a carefully engineered underground chamber hidden beneath the island. Although the footage lasted only a few seconds and was far from conclusive, it added an entirely new dimension to the mystery. But Oak Island is about more than buried treasure. At its heart, the story is also about two brothers with very different perspectives on the search. For Rick Lagina, the quest is deeply personal. Since childhood, he has dreamed of uncovering the truth behind Oak Island's mystery. Over the years, he has invested not only his time and effort, but also a tremendous amount of emotional commitment. Every clue, anomaly, and discovery renews his belief that the answer is waiting beneath the island. So when the 2026 findings suggested the possibility of a discovery worth nearly $195 million, Rick saw the opportunity he had been waiting for his entire life. To him, the evidence increasingly points towards something real hidden underground. Marty views the situation differently. His focus remains on facts, financial realities, and risk management. He continually reminds the team that excitement and speculation are not substitutes for evidence. Until physical artifacts are recovered, every theory remains unproven. He also understands the enormous challenges ahead. Excavating beyond 100 feet is an extremely complex operation. Flood tunnels, unstable ground conditions, equipment failures, and rapidly rising costs all pose serious threats to the project. As a result, the difference between Rick's optimism and Marty's caution has created growing tension within the operation. One sees a potential breakthrough within reach. The other sees a difficult and risky challenge that still requires solid proof. Together, those opposing perspectives continue to shape one of the most fascinating treasure hunts in modern history. Rick Lagina believes the team should move forward aggressively. In his view, they may be closer than ever before to finally solving Oak Island's centuries-old mystery. After decades of searching, he sees the latest discoveries as a rare opportunity that cannot be ignored. Marty Lagina takes a different approach. While he acknowledges the excitement surrounding the findings, he believes every step must be supported by solid evidence. His priority is to make careful, calculated decisions that minimize risk and maximize the chances of success. Their conversations often reflect this difference in perspective. Rick argues that opportunities like this may never come again. Marty responds that one major mistake could put the entire project at risk. Both viewpoints are understandable, and that contrast has become one of the defining features of the search. The divide extends beyond the brothers themselves. Some team members are energized by Rick's confidence and sense of urgency. Others share Marty's cautious outlook, believing that patience and proof are essential before making major decisions. This disagreement adds another layer of tension to an already extraordinary story. At this stage, the search is no longer simply about digging into the ground. The choices being made today could either lead to one of the greatest treasure discoveries in history, or become another costly setback in a mystery already filled with disappointments. As news of the 2026 finding spread, interest in Oak Island surged around the world. But along with the excitement came an important question. Are these discoveries evidence of a genuine breakthrough? Or are they simply another misunderstanding that will eventually be explained away? Many geologists remain skeptical. They point out that Oak Island's underground environment is extremely complex. Layers of clay, limestone formations, and centuries of excavation activity have created conditions where unusual readings are not uncommon. From their perspective, elevated metallic density is certainly interesting, but it does not automatically indicate buried treasure or artificial structures. Natural mineral deposits can sometimes produce signals that appear far more significant than they truly are. Others strongly disagree. Treasure researchers and independent analysts argue that the evidence should not be viewed as separate pieces. Instead, they focus on the combination of clues that have emerged during the investigation. They point to three key factors: the consistent scan results, the unusual camera footage, and the indications of a hollow underground space. Taken together, they believe these findings suggest something intentionally constructed rather than a random geological formation. As expected, the debate quickly expanded beyond Oak Island itself. Media outlets around the world began covering the story. Some described the findings as evidence of a potential $195 million secret hidden beneath the island. Others dismissed the excitement as another chapter in a mystery that has generated countless theories over the years. Online discussions exploded across YouTube, Reddit, and treasure hunting forums. Millions of people began examining every image, report, and piece of data released from the investigation. Some became convinced that a hidden chamber had finally been discovered. Others argued that the entire interpretation could be influenced by expectations, assumptions, and wishful thinking. What makes the situation so fascinating is that both sides present compelling arguments. One group insists that hard physical evidence is required before any conclusions can be reached. The other points to a growing collection of clues that are becoming increasingly difficult to dismiss. As a result, Oak Island has become more than just an excavation project. It has evolved into a global debate. Yet just when it seemed the mystery couldn't become any more intriguing, new data introduced an even bigger possibility. While analyzing information gathered from depths between 90 and 120 feet, researchers noticed additional anomalies much deeper underground, roughly between 150 and 180 feet below the surface. This discovery expanded the mystery far beyond the idea of a single hidden chamber. Seismic imaging revealed faint but repeatable disturbances in the deeper layers. Although these signals were weaker than those detected at shallower depths, they displayed a surprisingly organized pattern. Several anomalies appeared aligned in a way that immediately captured researchers' attention. Some experts believe these formations may be connected rather than isolated. This observation led to what is now known as the larger system theory. According to this theory, Oak Island may contain far more than one hidden chamber. Instead, there could be an entire network of underground spaces linked together through tunnels or passageways. Supporters of the idea suggest that different chambers may have served different purposes, forming a sophisticated underground storage system hidden beneath the island. If this interpretation proves correct, the estimated $195 million chamber may represent only a small portion of what remains undiscovered. Rick finds this possibility particularly compelling. From his perspective, if evidence suggests the existence of one chamber, it is reasonable to consider that additional structures may exist nearby. To him, the latest discoveries fit a larger pattern that points towards something much more significant beneath the island. Marty remains cautious. He understands that exploring deeper levels introduces entirely new challenges. Below 150 feet, water pressure increases, ground conditions become less stable, and excavation becomes significantly more difficult and expensive. Every additional foot of depth increases both the potential reward and the potential danger. Interestingly, historical records may offer support for the theory. Reports from earlier excavations mention unexplained voids, sudden collapses, and unusual underground conditions encountered at greater depths. At the time, many of these observations received little attention because there was no technology available to investigate them properly. Today, modern imaging systems appear to be detecting similar anomalies once again. And that raises an even larger question. Is Oak Island hiding a single treasure chamber, or could there be an entire underground network waiting to be uncovered? A network whose value could extend far beyond hundreds of millions of dollars. The possibility of such a discovery is exactly why researchers are paying such close attention to the newest data. Because if these structures are connected, the story of Oak Island may be far bigger than anyone has ever imagined. When analysts combined the deeper anomalies found between 150 and 180 feet with the signals detected higher up, an even more remarkable possibility emerged. Some researchers proposed a bold estimate. If the underground features are connected and similar concentrations of metal exist throughout the system, the total value hidden beneath Oak Island could potentially range between $400 million and $500 million. And according to some experts, even those numbers may be conservative. This idea has given rise to another fascinating concept known as the multiple vault theory. According to this theory, Oak Island may not contain a single treasure chamber at all. Instead, there could be several separate vaults located at different depths beneath the island. Each chamber may have served a unique purpose, storing different materials or valuables as part of a larger, carefully planned system. If true, the mystery of Oak Island would be far more complex than anyone originally believed, and the greatest discoveries may still be waiting beneath the surface. According to the multiple vault theory, the underground structures beneath Oak Island may have served different purposes. Some chambers could have been used to store valuable items, while others may have acted as protective barriers designed to secure whatever was hidden below. There is even speculation that certain sections were intentionally constructed as traps to discourage or prevent intruders from reaching the final destination. If this theory turns out to be accurate, Oak Island would be far more than a simple treasure hiding place. Instead, it would represent a highly sophisticated underground system, carefully designed and engineered with remarkable planning and precision. Rick Lagina appears increasingly persuaded by this possibility. From his perspective, the combination of recurring signals, organized underground patterns, and anomalies appearing at multiple depths points towards something much more significant than a natural geological formation. To him, the evidence suggests a level of structure and consistency that is difficult to ignore. And if he is right, the greatest secret of Oak Island may still be hidden beneath the surface, waiting to be uncovered. Whether these discoveries ultimately reveal a lost treasure, a forgotten underground structure, or something entirely unexpected, one thing is certain. The mystery of Oak Island continues to captivate people around the world. After more than 2 centuries of searching, researchers may be closer than ever to finding answers. But until definitive proof emerges, the island will continue to guard its secrets, keeping the world guessing about what truly lies beneath. If you enjoyed this story and want to follow the latest developments surrounding Oak Island and other fascinating mysteries, be sure to subscribe to the Timefold channel and leave a like to support future content.